guys, it's Ashley from Ashley's Got Book Citement, and I am here with my July wrap-up and August TBR. Thumbs up. So, in July, I did rather well for myself. I read 8 books. Yeah. Thanks in large part maybe to Booktubeathon. Yeah. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that number. And I'm going to tell you what books I read. The first book that I read in July was Fear by Michael Grant. This is the 5th book in the Gone series, and I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 because I loved it. I love this series. I love this book. It was awesome. Yeah, just crazy stuff happens. And I really thought, even though I knew there was a 6th book, I really thought they were going to get out of the dome in this one because things were looking like it could happen. But then, of course, they didn't get out. But I can't wait to read the last book in the series, Light. I think it's going to be awesome. I've heard great things about it. For those of you that haven't started the Gone series, really do. It's a great series. I love it. So then, second book I read Mr. Monster by Dan Wells. This is also a sequel. It is a sequel to I Am Not a Serial Killer. And I ended up giving this book a 4 out of 5. I really enjoy this series too. He's a creepy kid that he could become a serial killer, but he's like taken the turn where he's like a little Dexter. He's gonna kill serial killers, kind of. Yeah. But there's a twist to it, and I'm not going to tell you what the twist to it is, because if you hadn't read the first book, then I would ruin everything for you. But, yeah, so I gave it a 4. I really enjoyed that book. Can't wait to read the last book in the series, which I can't remember the name of right now, but I'm excited for it. The third book that I read was the only review book that I read this month, so I've done very bad on my review books. But I read Confessions of an Almost Girlfriend by Louise Rosette. This is the sequel to Confessions of an Angry Girl by Louise Rosette. And I gave this book 3 out of 5. It's a good series. It's an okay series. It's very contemporary. And it's just about this girl named Rose who's going through all this stuff. Louise Rosette does a really good job of making like a teenage girl voice, because Rose really feels like a teenage girl. And I think that's sometimes what annoys me about Rose, is that she's just a teenager. There's this romance kind of between her and this older boy named Jamie Forda. I think that's how you say it. And in each book it never seems to go anywhere. It's like they kiss and then something happens that separates them, and then, I don't know, I just don't like this hot cold stuff. Rose, get a real boyfriend and stop with this Jamie Forda. Yeah. Fourth book that I read, and this was the first book that I read for week of Booktubeathon, was Flesh and Bone by Jonathan Mayberry. This is the 3rd book in the Rotten Ruin series, and I ended up giving it a 4. I really enjoyed this book. It was really intense. Action from page 1 to the end. And one cool thing about it was pretty much the whole story took place in one day. So it was a crazy day. And there's new villains in this one. The Church of Night, they are terrifying. St. John, ooh, I don't want to meet up with St. John. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's a really cool little zombie series. But I really enjoyed that series. Zombie-rific. The 5th book that I read was the London Eye by Tim LeBon. This is the first book in the Toxic City series. And I ended up giving this book a 3.5 out of 5. I did enjoy it. It was pretty cool. But the reason that it got a 3.5 was because of the beginning. I just felt like we weren't given a whole lot of backstory. We're just kind of thrown into something. So, 1, we don't really know what's going on or what's happened. And then 2, we don't really know anything about these kids who we follow. And I just would have liked a little more backstory, a little more character development kind of stuff between these kids, just to learn more about them. It did have a really cool little part though. At the beginning of each chapter, it included like broadcasts from CNN or news networks about this terrorist attack that had happened in London. But I would have loved it if they had taken like all those little news snippets and put it into maybe like a prologue at the beginning. So I thought that would have been awesome. But yeah, I did enjoy it as the story went on. It's got this cool X-Men powers, mutant stuff vibe that's pretty awesome. So yeah. The sixth book that I read was Eve by Anna Carey. This is book 1 in the Eve trilogy, and I ended up giving this book 4. I really liked it. I called it a forgotten dystopian gem. Yeah, it's really awesome. It's about this girl named Eve who is an orphan after a virus wipes out like 98% of the population, and she is at this boarding school, and she thinks that when she graduates and leaves this boarding school that she's going to do great things. She's going to be an artist. She's going to design stuff, do stuff like that in the city of sand, the big city. But then she finds out that that's not what happens to these graduates. Something far more sinister is what's in store for them. So she escapes, and she meets up with this boy named Caleb and this girl named Arden. And yeah, it's an awesome series. I like it. I like it a lot. The seventh book that I read in July was Changeling by Philippa Gregory. This is the first book in the Order of Darkness series, and this is also Philippa Gregory's YA debut. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I did like it. It just, to me, it didn't feel young adult at all. It felt very adult, very historical. It was like set in 1453, so it was about nuns and monks and abbots and inquirers and devil and stuff like that. And I won't say that's my favorite time period to read about. It's almost too, I don't get the whole nunneries and the whole abbots, and it's just not my thing. But I don't know, there were some parts that were pretty exciting, but I didn't feel like the characters were young adults. Just because your characters are like 17 or 16, that doesn't automatically make it a young adult book. It has to be written, you know what I mean? I don't know what I mean. But yeah, so I read that one. And then the last book that I read and finished in July was Once by Anna Carey. This is the second book in the Eve trilogy, book 2. And this one also got a 4 out of 5. Lots of stuff happened in this one. I really enjoyed it. Eve makes it to the city of sand. She finds out stuff. More stuff happens with Caleb. Yeah. Awesome series. So that is all that I read for July. Pretty happy with myself. I think I did a good job. And now I think here's a little bit of my August TBR. So I have some review books that I definitely want to read. 2 of them are on my Kindle. One I was sent from the author, and it's Kyle versus Leela, Battle for the Cyberdomes by Stuart Wilson. It looks like this, so I really want to read this and get a review out, and he has it on Amazon for free. So if you guys want to go to Amazon and check it out, I think it's still free. But yeah, so I can't wait to read that. I also want to read The Weight of Souls by Bryony Pierce. I don't know. I got that one for review. It comes out August 6th, I think, so I need to read that and review it and get down to it. And then I also want to read Help for the Haunted by John Searles. This one comes out in September. I won this from a Goodreads giveaway, so I need to read it and review it so I can win more. You see what drives me here, winning more books. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one. And then this little stack, Patient Zero by Jonathan Mayberry, the one I am currently reading and liking. This is his adult zombie thriller, military kind of book, and it's pretty cool. It's a little scary because it's got terrorists and it's got zombies, and the whole terrorists teaming up with zombies, kind of using zombies as a weapon. That's kind of terrifying. So yeah, I'm excited to finish that one. Then I want to read Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry. I'm going to bring a little contemporary into my life. Woo! Then Leviathan by Scott Westerfield. This is the first book in his Leviathan trilogy, and I need to get this one back to the library And then I also have like a whole bunch of Scott Westerfeld books that I just haven't read yet. I keep buying his books, I just haven't read them yet. I don't know. And then this one's going to show up in all of my TBRs probably until I read it. And that is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I really do want to read this. And I just keep checking out more library books. So this is going to be in TBRs until I read it. So that's it, guys. That's my July wrap-up, August TBR. If you guys make these videos, tell me, and I will go check them out because I like watching them. Leave me comments, likes, and subscribe if you haven't already, because any of the three would be awesome. And I will see you later. Bye-bye.